Have you ever looked at the S&P 500 going up and thought, why am I not growing faster? Yeah, me too. A few years ago, I fell into this trap. I'd scroll through finance news or Reddit threads, see people bragging about some ETF that crushed the market, and I think, should I switch? It felt like I was missing out, like I was playing it too safe. One day I saw this one ETF. It had nearly double the return of the S&P over the past decade. That got my attention. My brain went straight to, what if I just put everything into this and retire earlier? But then came the voice in the back of my mind, the one that's been burned before, whispering, yeah, but what's the catch? That question changed how I invest forever. Because here's the thing, most people miss. Just because something grows faster doesn't mean you'll stick with it long enough to benefit. And that's where people lose real money. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through this ETF that did beat the S&P, almost 2x, but I'm also going to show you the one mistake that could turn that win into a loss if you're not careful. You'll see the real numbers, you'll see how it works, and by the end, you'll know exactly how I'd use it, calmly, smartly, to grow long-term wealth without losing sleep. Ready? Let's get into it. Before we jump into charts and numbers, let's pause for a second. Because this isn't just about an ETF, it's about something way more important, your future. When you buy into an investment, you're not just buying some letters on a stock chart, you're buying a plan that has to survive your worst moods, not just your best intentions. I learned that the hard way. A few years back, I thought I could outsmart the market. I'd see one ETF doing better than the others and think, maybe I should move everything there. So I'd switch, and guess what? The moment I did, it would start falling, and the one I left behind would rise. I felt frustrated, anxious, and tired of feeling like I was always one step behind. I wasn't building wealth, I was chasing it and getting nowhere. That's when I realized something simple but powerful. It's not about finding the best ETF, it's about finding one you can actually hold on to year after year without panicking. The real winners are steady, not because they never drop, but because they never quit. You can think of it like this. There's the dream path, slow, steady, forward. And then there's the reality most people live. Jump in, panic, jump out, repeat. That second path doesn't build anything. In 60 seconds, I'll show you the ETF that almost doubled the S&P over 10 years. But first, let's answer this. Why do so many people quit just before the growth starts working? Let's zoom out and look at what actually happened. There's an ETF that grew about twice as much as the S&P from 2013 to 2023. Same timeline, same market, just a different focus. And the result? If you put $10,000 into this ETF back then, it would have grown to around $82,000. The same $10,000 in the S&P 500, about $41,000. That's a huge difference, all from a small edge repeated year after year. That's the power of compounding. It feels slow at first, and then it feels like magic. But here's the truth. This is math, not magic, and definitely not a promise. What worked in the past doesn't guarantee it will in the future. Still, the numbers don't lie. Something did create that extra growth. And the real question is, what's inside this ETF that made it grow so much faster? That's what we'll uncover next. Let's break down what you really own when you invest in this ETF and why it's not just a faster S&P. At first glance, it might seem like this ETF is just a spicier version of the overall market, but that's not how it works. It's focused, very focused, almost entirely on one sector, technology. And inside that sector, it leans hard on a few big names. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA take up massive space in this ETF. In fact, the top 10 companies make up over half of the entire fund, and just the top 3 alone account for nearly 44%. So if those companies fly, your investment flies. But if they drop hard, even for a short time, your portfolio can take a real hit. Here's the part most investors miss. We feel comfortable with these names. We use their products every day. Our phones, our computers, the AI tools we play with, they all come from these giants. That comfort makes us think it's safer than it is. But just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's risk-free. So yes, this concentration helped it outperform the S&P, but that same concentration can also magnify your downside. This is where the ride starts to get bumpy. And in a second, I'll show you exactly why it beat the S&P. Then we'll talk about whether that's likely to keep happening. Let's talk about why this ETF left the S&P 500 in the dust over the past decade. It comes down to three simple reasons. First, tech led the market. Over the last 10 years, we saw huge trends: smartphones, cloud computing, AI, semiconductors. These weren't just stories, they turned into real profits. And this ETF, it was sitting right at the center of that action. Second, it rewards winners. This ETF, like many others, is market cap weighted. That means when a company grows in value, it automatically becomes a bigger part of the fund. So if a company like Nvidia or Apple goes on a hot streak, your ETF benefits even more. It's like a snowball effect. Big winners get even more weight. Third, it's a different engine. The S&P 500 includes tech, a good chunk of it actually. But this ETF, it's almost entirely tech. That means you're not just getting more exposure, you're making a very clear bet. But, and this is big, that extra engine is not a free ride. More return often means more risk. That's why in just a minute, I'm going to show you the part most people skip when they chase this kind of performance: the drop, the gut punch moments. Because knowing how it rose is only half the story. The other half is what happens when it falls. Let's talk about the hidden price behind the big return. Yes, this ETF almost doubled the S&P over 10 years, but it didn't do that in a straight line. Far from it. The ride was bumpy, really bumpy. At one point, this ETF lost over 50% of its value during a market drop. It took more than 3 years to fully recover. Now think about that. If you had $100,000 in it, it would have dropped to around $49,000. That's not just a little dip, that's a gut punch. And here's what makes it even harder. Losses feel bigger than gains. That's how our brains work. It's called loss aversion. We feel the pain of losing money about twice as strongly as the joy of making it. So even if the long-term return looks amazing on paper, living through those drops is emotionally exhausting. And most people, not just beginners, tend to sell when they're scared. That's how real money gets lost, not from a bad ETF, but from bailing at the wrong time. So the big question becomes, how do you actually use this kind of ETF without panic selling during the worst moments? That's what we'll cover next. But first, let's look at the most common trap that even smart investors fall into. This is the mistake I see over and over: buying after something looks safe. When an ETF has a few great years in a row, people start piling in. They think, this is the one, it's finally safe now. But what happens next? Often, the hot streak ends, the price drops, and people get scared, so they sell. Then it goes back up without them. This cycle plays out again and again. Buy high, sell low, repeat. It's called performance chasing, and it turns past winners into future regrets. There's even a name for it in investing: the hot fund cycle. Money flows in after great performance and flows out after a rough year. But the long-term winners are often the ones that people had to stick with through those rough patches. Here's how I think of it. Are you a sprinter or an accumulator? Sprinters chase speed. They jump from one hot fund to another trying to hit it big. Accumulators stay consistent. They build brick by brick, slow, boring, and rich. If you want long-term wealth, you don't need the fastest ETF. You need the one you won't quit on. So next, I'll show you the calm, practical way I'd build this ETF into a long-term plan, one that doesn't mess with your sleep or your sanity. Here's how I personally build this into a long-term plan, one that doesn't mess with your sleep or your sanity. I call it the Core plus Booster Plan, and it's simple. Your core is the base of your portfolio. It's broad, it's diversified, and it holds up over time. For most people, something like the S&P 500 or even a total U.S. market fund works great here. This is your solid ground. Then comes your booster, a smaller piece that gives you a little extra kick. That's where something like this tech ETF fits in.
It's faster, it's more focused, and yeah, it's bumpier. But when it runs, it really runs. So what does this actually look like? Think of your portfolio like a pizza. You might go 90% core, 10% booster. Very stable, very calm. Or maybe 80-20, still steady but with a bit more spice. If you've got a strong stomach and a long time horizon, 70-30 might work, but that's more advanced. The key is not just the split, it's what you do over time. Once a year, you rebalance. That means you take a little off whatever grew faster and add it to what lagged behind. It's the opposite of chasing. You're trimming your winners and topping up your underdogs, automatically without emotion. It's a simple habit that forces you to buy low and sell high without trying to time anything. And the best part? You don't have to check your portfolio every day. You don't need to guess what's coming next. You just stick to your plan. But here's the truth. This strategy isn't for everyone. In the next part, I'll tell you who should probably not use this ETF and why that's totally okay. Let's be honest. This kind of ETF isn't for everyone, and that's not a bad thing. If you're close to retirement or if you need the money in the next 3 to 5 years, this might not be the place for your dollars. Why? Because this fund moves fast, both up and down. It's more volatile than a broad market fund. That means bigger drops, sharper swings, and longer recoveries. Think of it like this. If the S&P 500 is a steady hike, this ETF is more like a roller coaster. Some people love the thrill, others lose sleep. Here's the danger zone. If you find yourself checking your account every day, feeling stressed, second-guessing every dip, this kind of investment could actually hurt more than help, not because it's bad, but because it doesn't match your temperament. And let's kill a myth while we're here. Being more aggressive doesn't make you smarter. It just means you're playing a different game, with different rules and different risks. The real smart move is matching your investments to who you are and what you can realistically hold on to. So let's wrap this up with what actually matters most. At the end of the day, you don't need the hottest ETF to build wealth. You need a plan you'll actually stick with. Fast growth is exciting, but staying invested year after year through the good and the bad, that's where real wealth comes from. That's how you win. This ETF, it beat the S&P by almost 2x over 10 years, but it also came with deeper drops and a tougher ride. The question isn't, is it good? The real question is, can I handle it? Can I hold on to it long enough for the growth to matter? In the next video, I'll show you 3 ETFs that pair well with a tech-focused booster like this one to help you balance your portfolio, reduce risk, and still grow wealth for the long term. But before you go, comment below. Are you a core-only investor, or do you use the core plus booster method? And if you do, which split would you actually stick with? 90-10, 80-20, or 70-30? Let's help each other build smarter plans, not just faster ones.